Check out this insane slide. Decolonizing cozy games. What, like Stardew Valley or Story of Seasons? How the hell are cozy games colonized? What's so cozy about doing chores when you're at the center of the universe? Wow, someone clearly has never done a chore in their entire life or played any games involving tedious chores if you had to ask this question. Cozy games project an idea of what is safe and rewarding for players and often promote values of capitalism by rewarding individualism and consumption. Yes, that's what cozy games are supposed to be. Your hard work is rewarded. Are you seriously gonna put a communist Marxist spin on this? How are you going to make a cozy game where your hard work isn't rewarded? What makes them satisfying for many can also make things uncomfortable for marginalized people. Wow, the audacity of this lazy, entitled commie to suggest that marginalized people are uncomfortable with being rewarded for their hard work. I am even more convinced that this is written by a rich, spoiled brat who has never done any hard work in their entire lives. They feel guilty about the amount of wealth they inherited from their rich parents, and that's why they become commies. By exploring and questioning the definitions and values of cozy games and colonialism, we can make cozy games even cozier. No, you're making cozy games worse because you are actively rejecting capitalism in favor of some communist nonsense that will not work in any video games. This commie thinks that cozy games are colonialist and they're going to decolonize it. They define decolonialization as an undoing of colonial influences and structures. So you're dismissing capitalism because it's the system of those evil European colonists. How dare they, right? It's also a creative process of imagining what cultures would look like if not disrupted by the exploitation of colonialism. It's called Civilization 5 with the Brave New World expansion pack, where Gajah is going to rule the world. This concept also has been explored academically before, so you go ahead and explore them there, but not here. We're talking about video games, and the only thing you're exploiting are pixels. Why are video games colonialist? Well, because there are too many white people. No, really, that's their first reason. Too many white people. Are you absolutely freaking demented? Are you a racist nutjob who cannot relate to someone with a lighter skin color? Why are game companies taking these people seriously? The outside individual who saves the day. I mean, God forbid people from the outside came in to save the day, right? Superman is quite literally that. The land is there for the taking. God forbid video games have lands that you can take. Corn and wheat make numbers go up. God forbid people farm in games, right? Nuclear family or two-gen family. This person has absolute disdain towards anything that screams traditional, even if it works for a reason. Monochromatic structures, 4 seasons, Gregorian calendar? God forbid we're using calendars that everyone uses, right? God forbid we're using the standard 4 seasons that most people are in, right? And this is coming from someone whose culture has their own calendar. And even then, we still use our Gregorian calendar, like normal freaking people. Conveniently ancient civilizations. I have no idea what you're talking about, or why that's bad. Spirituality is silly. No idea what you're talking about. Straight up racism. Bro, your first point is so many white people. That's the only racism that I'm seeing here. After the complaints from these communists about how cozy games were colonized, what are their solutions in decolonizing it? We can start the process of decolonizing and practicing decoloniality by questioning ourselves and those we trust around us. I do agree with this, in a sense that you should start questioning yourself about how crazy you are with these ideas. What does safety mean for the audiences we're trying to reach? Safety? They're freaking video games where you do chores. It's about as safe as you can get, you privileged nutjob. What mechanics, rewards, cultural touchstones, and character archetypes will we implement that will resonate with them? One that rewards their chores and hard work. It doesn't matter what race, gender, or ethnicity you are, people want to be rewarded for doing hard work. That's why cozy games are great. You get rewards for your hard work. What is the relationship of the player character to the NPC community, and how can we handle this mechanically and narratively? Those are two questions, and they are both incredibly pointless to discuss, because you're going in with a politically charged mindset. It's less about making games better for everyone, and more about making games better for leftists. Also, NPC community? As if NPCs have sentience now. How many generations of people are present at any time? What does that matter in a game that you play yourself? How is time measured, and how does this play out mechanically and narratively? Bro, you dismissed the whole Gregorian freaking calendar. If you have a better alternative to measure time, my ears are open. Again, this is coming from someone whose culture has their own calendar. Even then, we still use our Gregorian calendar, like normal freaking people. Let's move on from colonialism into something simpler, like sexualized characters and a moral outrage surrounding it. I think people really should stop throwing stupid labels at things. This is misogyny, but if you say that, they will cancel you. Yeah, because you just accuse people of misogyny for no reason whatsoever. This is a fan art of Hornet, the protagonist of Silksong, and the Knight from Hollow Knight. Because Hornet is a woman, she gets sexualized by the fandom. I really see no issue with her being sexualized. What's your issue again? Always the trans people defending porn. How is that relevant? Trans or not, people are going to defend freedom of expression, especially the right to be horny. Watching porn, fornication, and sodomy are haram, forbidden. Nice of you to preach your religion here, but not everyone wants to adhere to it. Good. Porn exploits women. Yeah, no. That's only half of the story. The porn industry exploits everyone who participates on it, regardless of gender. But women are clearly the ones most affected because most people that watch porn are men, right? I mean, it's not like women have their own power and independence to create their own porn industry, full of men that they exploit for their naughty pictures. For the record, I have no issues with people making 18+ content of their own body, but I do have issues with perpetual victimhood. The post was not saying porn is bad. Yes, it absolutely is saying porn is bad. The person framed sexualization of female characters as misogyny. What else can you extrapolate out of that? They were saying when specifically only the female characters in a franchise get sexualized, it's weird. First off, you're confusing the word weird with misogynistic. One has a way bigger moral connotation compared to the other. Second, this isn't a valid point either. The fandom sexualizing the female character in a franchise is perfectly normal. People are just horny, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to sexualize the Knight, go ahead, nothing is stopping you. In fact, I 100% welcome that because I'm an advocate for gender equality, including the equality of sexualization. But to suggest that people are misogynistic purely for sexualizing female characters is a blatant form of moral outrage that should be banished out of the internet. It seems that people really confuse fiction and reality. And what better way to illustrate that than this thread of tweets about Persona? As a fan of the Persona franchise, making fun of other Persona fans is something that we all do all the time. But if we are going to make fun of Persona fans, at least make fun of them for something valid. Persona fans will ask, why can't I get a woman? Are they really asking that? I made fun of Persona fans a lot, but it's usually because a lot of them don't play the actual games, not because they fail at real-life interactions. Jesus Christ, brother, you don't know how to respect a fictional character. How the hell do you want to enter a good relationship? I'm sorry, are you equating respecting female characters with respecting real-life women?
You're confusing fiction and reality, brother.
What do you mean by respect a fictional character? Tipping your freaking fedora? People respecting or disrespecting fictional characters do not equal good relationships. I don't know what makes you think that is the case, but here we are anyway. Here's another instance of people being unable to distinguish between fiction and reality. This controversial art piece is deleted after viral controversial replies. The art depicts an anime girl being surrounded by loads of hands that do all sorts of heinous things, like putting a ring on her, groping her, unbuttoning her skirt, burn her hair, about to jam a screwdriver right up her eyes. Oh God! It's definitely not for the faint-hearted, and some people's hearts definitely fainted after this. Like, yeah, who the hell is comfortable with seeing this? Isn't the purpose of art to provoke an emotional reaction? Just because your emotional reaction is a negative one doesn't mean it should be removed. Art isn't real, but it shows what goes on in the artist's mind, which is very real. That makes no sense. Grand Theft Auto isn't real, but it shows what's going on in the gamer's mind, which is very real. This isn't a big revelation that you think it is. In fact, it's just moral outrage on your part. The less we see people getting morally outraged over art or fictional characters, the better our society will be. While there are loads of moral guardians making moral panic online, they are nowhere near as bad as government officials making moral panic, because they might have a chance to do something about it. A Michigan GOP is proposing not only a ban on adult content, but also a ban on VPNs and restrictions or depictions on transgender people. It is titled the Anti-Corruption of Public Morals Act, implying that VPNs are immoral. The demands are straight up bonkers. It will adopt a round-the-clock surveillance system like it's 1984. It will block the sale and use of VPNs and prohibit a wide range of content that include erotic AI material, sensual ASMR studio, pornographic manga, and anything representing transgenderism. They will even add you to the sex offender registry if you produce or distribute porn. This not just includes real-life pornographers, but also those who love to draw fictional characters in lewd situations. You are a sex offender now if you dare to post your drawings to social media. The punishment is 20 years in prison and a $100,000 fine. How dare you, right? These measures defend children, safeguard our communities, and put families first. You do not defend children or families at all. That is a blatant lie. You are restricting people's freedom of expression. The good news is that this is merely a proposal, and only a few people thought that this was a good idea. Let's keep it that way, because if this bill passes, it is a huge threat towards freedom of expression. All the gooners are in shambles. Go outside, meet women, and get laid. Wow, how nice of you to imply that women's only purpose in life is to get men laid. I highly suggest you take your own advice and do it yourself first. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.